multilatérale et bilatérale. Dans un format latéral, les États-Unis d'Amérique, la République démocratique du Congo et le Rwanda ont signé l'accord d'intégration économique régionale.
The Regional Economic Integration Framework, REEF, is a groundbreaking bilateral initiative that unlocks the vast economic potential of the Great Lakes region. As the Secretary noted, the REEF provides a roadmap to the future where the DRC, Rwanda, and neighboring countries are knit together by commerce, not by conflict.
Avec les États-Unis d'Amérique, la RDC a renforcé sa coopération stratégique dans plusieurs domaines.
Comme vous le savez, aujourd'hui, nos États respectifs ont signé d'abord une déclaration qui englobe 3 instruments, la déclaration de principe, l'accord de paix entre le Rwanda et la République démocratique du Congo, mais aussi l'accord d'intégration économique régionale. Et donc cet accord que nous avons d'abord signé dans un format trilatéral avec le représentant des États-Unis d'Amérique, à savoir le secrétaire d'État M. Rubio, moi-même pour la République démocratique du Congo et notre homologue du Rwanda. Et au-delà de cela, nous avons aussi eu l'occasion de signer 2 accords bilatéraux donc entre la République démocratique du Congo et les États-Unis d'Amérique. Un premier qui se penche sur un partenariat stratégique qui couvre une panoplie de domaines, y compris des domaines économiques, mais nous avons aussi signé un mémorandum d'entente sur le renforcement de la coopération et des échanges entre les 2 pays dans le domaine de la défense. Donc 2 instruments supplémentaires qui montrent à quel point aussi l'investissement des États-Unis d'Amérique dans la région des Grands Lacs ne se limite pas à la région, mais aussi à une dimension bilatérale très importante sur laquelle nous allons capitaliser et nous savons qu'il va aussi renforcer nos liens et notre relation avec les États-Unis d'Amérique dans cette période très critique. Merci beaucoup.
Après plusieurs décennies de guerre, la RDC s'attend à vivre une nouvelle ère de prospérité partagée.
C'était un moment historique, vous l'avez si bien dit. Et en qualité de président de l'Assemblée nationale, je voudrais saluer la validation de cet accord par les 2 chefs de l'État, son Excellence Félix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, président de la République démocratique du Congo, et le président Paul Kagame. L'acte qu'ils viennent de poser aujourd'hui est à saluer parce qu'il va dans le sens à renforcer la recherche de la paix, d'une paix durable et d'une stabilité réelle à l'est de notre pays et dans la région des Tala. Et en tant que représentants du peuple, nous avons le devoir d'accompagner cet accord en toute lucidité, dans la vigilance, mais bien sûr en s'assurant qu'il va dans le sens à apporter une solution à la souffrance de nos compatriotes qui vivent dans cette partie-là. La paix n'est pas un événement, c'est un chemin. C'est un chemin qui nécessite beaucoup de transparence dans la mise en œuvre des engagements pris. Mais comme le chef de l'État vient de le rappeler ici, il est important que ces paix que nous voulons passe tout d'abord par la sécurisation de nos populations à l'Est et par le respect strict de notre souveraineté nationale et de l'intégrité territoriale de notre pays. C'est un processus aussi qui nécessite le rétablissement de la confiance entre nos 2 pays, entre nos 2 chefs d'État. Et l'Assemblée nationale ne peut que s'engager, rester engagée aux côtés des autres institutions de la République pour s'assurer que cet accord va dans le sens à garantir l'intérêt du Congo, mais aussi à apporter une solution définitive aux souffrances de nos compatriotes à l'Est. C'est avec donc beaucoup d'espoir, mais nous devons demeurer vigilants, que nous avons assisté à cet événement historique et nous devons avancer avec beaucoup de détermination parce que nos populations le méritent bien.
Les premières impressions, c'est que c'est un jour historique, avec beaucoup de solennité, comme vous l'avez vu, et comme le chef d'État lui-même l'a dit, que c'est un jour qui marque un tournant décisif. Mais bien sûr, à condition que chacun respecte les engagements qui sont pris. Cette condition, elle est très importante. Les textes qui ont été signés aujourd'hui ont réaffirmé la souveraineté de l'RDC et ont réaffirmé le principe que tout ce qui a été convenu, toutes ces intentions ne seront indiqué que après le retrait des troupes étrangères, après le retrait des troupes rwandaises, cela a été très bien dit. Et je crois que le président Donald Trump, à la question qui lui a été posée aussi, a été très clair là-dessus. C'est ce qui va se passer. Donc c'est un grand jour pour nous. Selon moi, il y a encore beaucoup de travail à faire. Le travail continue. Je ne crois pas qu'un conflit aussi compliqué, qui a duré autant d'années, c'est quelque chose qui va se résoudre en un coup de bâton magique. C'est un processus. Et le processus est très avancé, il tend à sa fin maintenant. Parce que maintenant, comme nous l'avons signé, les partis sont engagés à respecter la souveraineté de chaque pays. Nous nous sommes engagés à ce que ces partis-là, ces troupes étrangères quittent le sol congolais. C'est avec tout ça que nous aurons notre intégration régionale et pourront construire réellement la paix. Et bien sûr, la justice devra être faite pour tous ces millions de morts, pour tous ces millions de victimes. Tout ça est consacré dans le texte qui a été signé.
Saudi Arabia, and you've heard me say this a couple of times, but 2 months ago when I was over there, he said, and actually Qatar is represented today, and UAE is represented, and your leader said the exact same thing, different words, but the exact same thing, that 1 year ago they thought our country was dead, and now our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We have over $18 trillion. That's just in 10 months. Pledged or being invested or pledged to be invested in the United States. Think of that, 18 trillion. The highest amount we've ever had is 1.5. Under the Biden administration, they did much less than 1 in 4 years. Think of that. So they did less than 1 trillion in 4 years. We have 18 trillion in 10 months. It's going to be much more than that too. No other country in history has ever been close, no matter what country you pick. So I want to thank you again, everybody, for your great vision, and I want to thank the people, especially the people that we named. Some of the others that unfortunately we didn't name, just couldn't do that. But for your vision and for your courage, because it's made it possible to begin healing old wounds and transcending past differences and creating a future where every child of God can live in dignity, prosperity, and peace. And these are two very good men, and they're two potentially very strong countries. I'd like to now invite President Kagame to come up and say a few words. It's Rwanda. And then, if I may, President of DRC, who really is doing a great job. These are two men that are doing a great job. And again, they're so respected because of what they're doing today and the mission that they've really, I think, accomplished. And we'll see how it all works out. But I think it's going to work out really great. They want to get on to other ways of living for their people, and they're great leaders. Thank you very much. Please, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellency Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, Excellencies, heads of state and government, and former heads of state, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin with some words of thanks. First, to my fellow heads of state and government from Africa, your presence here confirms that these efforts enjoy the broad support necessary to succeed. I also thank the Minister of State, Paix, representing His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad of Qatar. The role of Qatar has been absolutely central in getting us to this point. But of course, the biggest vote of thanks goes to President Donald Trump. No one was asking President Trump to take up this task. Our region is far from the headlines. But when the president saw the opportunity to contribute to peace, he immediately took it. This conflict has lasted for 30 years. We have seen countless mediations and efforts, but none have succeeded in resolving the underlying issues. President Trump introduced a new and effective dynamism that created the space for breakthroughs. His approach is even-handed, never taking sides. He orients us toward the future, not the past, emphasizing that the dividend of peace is prosperity and investment, including from the United States. More importantly, President Trump's approach is pragmatic. The process has not become an end in itself. All of these elements filter down to his dedicated team, and here I want to single out Secretary Rubio and Master Boulos for special appreciation. We would not be here today without their efforts. And as a result, we have the clearest and most viable path forward that we have ever had. These accords provide everything needed to end this conflict once and for all. If this agreement falters and things do not work out as they are supposed to, the responsibility will not lie with President Trump, but with ourselves. It's up to us in Africa, working with our partners to consolidate and expand this peace. There will be ups and downs on the road ahead. There is no doubt about it. Rwanda, I know, will not be found wanting. I can assure you of that. Our only objective is and has always been for our country to be safe and secure after having endured so much tragedy. We now only want to move forward in a confident expectation of a prosperous and stable future. Mr. President, Excellencies, I thank you for your kind attention.
Mr. the President of the United States, Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, dear members of the delegations, distinguished guests, as we have just placed our signatures at the bottom of the joint declaration enshrining the Washington Agreements for Peace and Prosperity, I do feel, on behalf of the people of Congo, a deep gratitude and clear hope. First of all, I would like to express quite solemnly our deep thanks to the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. I would like to thank his administration and also wish to thank the American people for the critical role that they played as doing for the rapprochement, the closening between the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Rwanda. These thanks are also bring in all of our regional partners and our international partners who, thanks to their commitment and engagement, have consistently made this critical moment possible in the road to peace. First and foremost, we have Sheikh Yamim bin Ahmad Adani. We have President João Manuel Lourenço Gonçalves, who is the President of Angola and the acting President of the African Union. And we also have the former President of the Republic of Kenya, my brother, Uhuru Kenyatta, who I can see here in the room. These two great Africans who are the beginning, who started the Rwanda and the Nairobi processes. And beyond them, I wish to thank also all of the African leaders who contributed to help us in this struggle. And I do hope that we have, yes, reached the end. The Washington Agreements are not yet another document. These represent a turning point. They bring together under a coherent architecture a declaration of principles of a peace agreement and also the regional economic integration framework to provide to peoples of the region a new perspective, a new outlook, namely to finally overcome the cycle of violence, of forced displacement, of mistrust, to defiance, in order to begin a new era of friendship, cooperation, and prosperity all shared together. For those involved, the Democratic Republic of Congo takes this solemn commitment to implement with complete sincerity all of our obligations that stem from this agreement. We will do this with seriousness, with rigorousness, and also the constant care for peace and the security of our populations, for the unity and the integrity of our territory. We do hope that thanks with the same seriousness that the Republic of Rwanda will also respect fully the letter and the spirit of the commitments made here in Washington. We are reaching out for a peaceful cooperation based on mutual respect, non-interference, and the joint struggle against the armed groups, the end of all support to negative forces, and the beginning of fair prosperity on behalf of our two populations. I do believe this day is the beginning of a new path. A demanding path, yes indeed, quite difficult, but this is a path where peace will not just be a wish and aspiration, but a turning point. The Democratic Republic of Congo will fully play its part with dignity, with consciousness and consistency, and with the support of our partners. We will remain watchful, vigilant, but not pessimistic. We'll be clear-eyed, but resolutely optimistic. These Washington agreements for peace and prosperity must be for our peoples
a symbol of an irreversible commitment to turn the page of confrontations and to open a new era of cooperation and sustainable peace throughout the region. Thank you.
So if I might, my four new friends, a couple of cases not that new, could you come up, please? Do you mind? Please. They represent so many and so well, so I just want to thank you very much.
Presidente Donald Trump, Presidente dos Estados Unidos da América, caros convidados, às entidades aqui presentes, aos jornalistas, eu gostaria de realçar a importância desta cerimónia aqui em Washington, D.C. Que vai finalmente pôr fim a um conflito que, como já foi dito, dura mais de 3 décadas. Não são exatamente 30 anos, mais do que 3 décadas. Um conflito entre irmãos, países vizinhos e irmãos, que deviam estar bem, mas que, por razões desta ordem, têm vindo a se degladiar ao longo dos anos, com pesadas consequências, quer para as populações de ambos os países, como também para as respectivas economias. A região dos Grandes Lagos é uma região das mais ricas do mundo, não apenas da África. É enormemente rica em recursos hídricos, terras aráveis, florestas, recursos minerais que estão no subsolo, mas, sobretudo, rico nas suas pessoas, com um potencial muito grande para desenvolver aquela região da África que pode catapultar o desenvolvimento de outras regiões igualmente do nosso continente. O mundo atravessa hoje uma crise energética e alimentar. Nós estamos a dizer que a África, e em particular essa região dos Grandes Lagos, tem potencial, não digo de resolver, mas de contribuir consideravelmente para a resolução dessas duas grandes crises, quer alimentar, quer energética, não apenas para o nosso continente, mas para o mundo. A grande barragem do Inga, adormecida há bastantes anos, pode contribuir enormemente para a eletrificação do continente e, consequentemente, para a sua industrialização. Em termos de agricultura, ter terras aráveis, um índice de chuvas bastante regular e abundante, pode-se desenvolver agricultura naquelas regiões para alimentar o continente. E nada disso tem sido possível fazer-se ao longo de décadas, devido a este conflito que não tem sentido e que, finalmente, infelizmente, parece que terá o seu fim hoje aqui em Washington, D.C. Nós procuramos fazer a nossa parte, e quando digo nós, estou a referir a Angola, ao Quênia e outros países também africanos. Procuramos fazer o melhor para chegarmos a este momento. Infelizmente não foi possível, mas nós só temos que agradecer ao presidente Trump por ter dado continuidade ao trabalho que nós realizamos e ter conseguido alcançar esse desfecho do qual todos nós sairemos a ganhar. Portanto, mais uma vez, o presidente Trump fez parte que lhe compete e nós esperamos e acreditamos que é o que vai acontecer, que as duas partes, ou seja, as autoridades da República Democrática do Congo e da República do Rwanda também farão a sua parte para a implementação com êxito deste acordo. Uma coisa é assinar um acordo, outra coisa que é mais difícil, mas é possível, desde que haja vontade política, é implementar em tempo útil tudo aquilo que nós acordamos e assinamos. Parabéns a todos. Muito obrigado.
Your Excellency, the US President, President Trump, dear guests, dear dignitaries present here and press members. I would like to highlight the importance of this ceremony taking place in Washington, D.C., because this has come to put an end to a war that has been there for more than 3 decades, because it's not just exactly 3 decades, but it's more than 30 years. And this is a conflict that has been there between two neighboring countries, which have been fighting for many years with consequences on the peoples, countries, economies, and so forth. And these consequences also were felt in the Great Lakes region, which is a very rich region in Africa, rich in terms of water resources, arable lands and forests, and as well as mineral resources, which are important for the development of a region. So it's important that we've reached to this point where the agreement has been signed, a peace deal, which will benefit immensely the whole region and will unleash the opportunities for the development of our continent, and as well as to helping the whole world in terms of fighting against food crisis and energy crisis, which the whole world is going through now. We believe that the Great Lakes region will have to play a great role in providing resources to the international community. And of course, solving this conflict will also help solve a crisis, not only in the continent as we know, but worldwide. For example, the Great Inga hydro project in Congo is important. It can help to electrify the continent and consequently help in terms of developing agriculture and providing agriculture, arable lands, and abundant resources that we have that can be used. We know that Africa possesses a lot of other resources such as rainfalls, which are important for agriculture. So nothing has, nothing would just justify this war, but eventually the most important thing that it has come to war. We sought as Africans to do our part. When I say Africans, I mentioned countries such as Angola, Kenya, and other African countries. But unfortunately, we couldn't make it. But we now want to thank President Donald Trump for having helped to reach this important milestone. We believe, once again, we have to thank him for what he has done. And what comes next now is to appeal to two parties, that's the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the Republic of Rwanda, to implement successfully this agreement for the benefit of their countries, their people, including our continent of Africa. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, President Trump, your heads of states, today's signing of the Washington Peace Accord for Eastern DRC is not merely a monumental diplomatic milestone. It is a decisive act to end a devastating conflict that has scarred the region for decades. Mr. President, what you have achieved is not only transformative, it is consequential and historic. This conflict has destroyed livelihoods,
destabilized our region, and threatened the future of the entire Great Lakes African continent. Today's achievement culminates a relentless regional effort anchored by the foundational work of the East African and SADC, and today is Washington process. The coordinated Nairobi, Rwanda, and Washington process has created the essential pathway that brings us to this pivotal moment. We would like to extend our gratitude to President Tshisekedi and President Kagame for their leadership during this process. Reaching this point was made possible by the unparalleled consequential convening power of the United States and President Trump's resolute and focused to global peace. Your clarity, Mr. President, of purpose and ability to rally stakeholders together has brought us to this point. We therefore extend our profound gratitude to President Trump, whose bold leadership has been instrumental in delivering this breakthrough. Our presence here, Mr. President, as regional leaders, is a testament of our collective resolve. We will spare no effort to ensure this agreement is fully realized, mobilizing every resource and partner to secure peace and unlock the region's immense economic promise. The protracted conflict on our continent continues to hold back Africa. Our current 3% share of global trade is stark evidence of how far this war has held us back. A peaceful Eastern DRC can unlock one of Africa's greatest economic opportunities. Our vast resources, the young talent that we have, connected through our regional infrastructure and the Afro-continental free trade area, can ignite an unprecedented transformation. A peaceful and integrated Great Lakes region will accelerate innovation, predictable government reduces risk, harmonized regulation lowers costs, and open borders increase trade, attracting value-added industries to our continent. For too long, Africa has exported raw materials only to import refined products at great cost. Our regional economic integration framework, Mr. President, that you have spoken to here, will build value chains in minerals, manufacturing, and agri-processing, creating jobs and creating wealth. The Great Lakes region stands at the threshold of a new era. Peace will open doors, integration will guide us, and private sector dynamism will propel us forward. In conclusion, as we celebrate progress in the DRC, we must not look away from other crises. I want to ask you respectfully, Mr. President, that in your quest for global peace, to support efforts to resolve the humanitarian catastrophe in Sudan. I think.
Excellence, le chef d'État et de gouvernement ici.
Heads of state and government, dear delegations, it is with great joy that I speak today it's a time for and there's a time for despair and there's a time for hope. We are basically as far as we are concerned, this agreement on regional economic integration will Burundi and the DRC already represent an economic community of the countries of the Great Lakes region. Burundi has a major role to play in order to indeed implement these existing cooperation agreements between three states. We hope that together we'll be able to achieve long-lasting peace and stability throughout the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I just want to introduce a friend of mine who I just noticed in the audience. He's in charge of a very small sport called here soccer, over there football. So nobody knows really what to call it. Johnny, thank you very much. The head of FIFA is here. And I can report to you that we've sold more tickets than any country anywhere in the world at this stage of the game, and I think we probably broke all the records before you even get close. And you have a big event on Friday at the Trump Kennedy Center. Oh, excuse me, at the Kennedy Center. Pardon me, such a terrible mistake, Barca. At the Kennedy Center, and I look forward to seeing you there. But I want to congratulate you. You know, it's really taken the world by storm. You've never done anything like what's happening in terms of ticket sales. I make a lot of enemies telling people, sorry, I can't get you tickets. I just can't do it. But congratulations, you've done a fantastic job. A great leader in sports and a good gentleman. Thank you very much, Johnny. And now we're going to sign a very important agreement. Thank you. Very quickly, I think you're going to see things happen. This is something that was not doable, according to a lot of people, and not only is it doable, I think it's going to be a great miracle. These two gentlemen are leaders, they're great leaders, and they're going to prove that in the coming months and years. And I think you'll see very immediate results. I have confidence that that's what's going to happen. Thank you very much, everybody. That's a big deal. That like Thank you, everybody.